Quick video on Prebisch Singer. This, guys, is one of the most important theories in development economics. This literally gives a solution as to why developing countries are struggling. So let's explore this. Now, Prebisch Singer are actually two separate economists. Okay, one is Raoul Prebisch, the other one is Hans Singer, who is a German economist. Raoul Prebisch is an Argentinian economist. Not that that is necessarily that important, but guys, this is a very, very serious theory. Okay, this actually challenged one of the big daddies of economics, David Ricardo. It challenged his work on comparative advantage, which broadly, we've done comparative advantage in my previous video, and this basically says countries should specialize in where they have an advantage. And remember, we talked about the Ivory Coast. They have a great advantage in producing cocoa. Please go back to that video and actually watch it. It's actually quite good. Prebisch Singer disagrees. And what he says is that if nations do not diversify, if they rely on comparative advantage, they're going to face a very, very bleak future. Okay? They will face a deteriorate in terms of trade and possible future of poverty. Deteriorate in terms of trade literally means the value of their imports is going to be more than the value of their exports. In other words, they're going to be paying more than they're getting back. Okay, and if they continue down that passage, they're going to face a future of poverty. So the argument really it lies around elasticity. The argument is that income elasticity for manufactured goods is elastic. So hopefully you remember what that is. What that means, as income rises around the world, as people become richer and richer, they're going to demand more and more manufactured goods. Just like this fantastic sports car, they're going to demand TVs, phones, fantastic cars. They're going to basically have a greater demand for manufactured goods because especially in a lot of developing countries, it's like a status symbol. The more money you get, you want to go out and buy a car. You want to have a bigger TV. You want to have all these kind of items. So it's going to be elastic. So as income goes up, their demand for manufactured goods are going to increase. Therefore, all these countries that specialize in manufactured goods are going to keep becoming wealthier and wealthier and wealthier. Whereas a lot of these developing nations rely on agricultural products and raw materials. And that is said, according to Prebisch Singer, that is income inelastic. In other words, if you visit Starbucks or Costa Coffee, if your income went up from 30,000 to 30,000, from 22,000, and you're now earning 30,000, are you really going to buy an extra cup of chocolate? Probably not. Would you eat more yams because your income has gone up? Probably not. And that's their argument, that the demand for agricultural products and raw materials are income inelastic. So as your income goes up, you're not necessarily going to demand more raw materials into raw materials, agricultural products. That's their basis of their argument. Okay, and it's a pretty sound argument. If you know, pretty sound argument. However, there's some arguments in favor of the Ricardo theory. For example, the world population has increased. So the demand for agricultural products, obviously food and everything else, has increased. Also, really, really important, prices for manufactured goods have come down. I don't know whether you remember, these massively large TVs were so expensive. Now they're not that expensive. So due to improved technology, all these manufactured goods, a lot of them have actually come down. And also, another very strong evaluative point, arguing against developing countries moving away from David Ricardo, specializing and diversifying. Another argument is countries such as Zimbabwe have discovered raw materials like lithium, and the demand for this is going to probably rise to 500,000 by the year 250, obviously because demand for electric cars, vehicles like that. So in summary, how are we going to use this in an exam? This is an argument in terms, you get a question on developing, how do countries, the strategies, how we use strategies to get countries to achieve growth and development, to get developing nations to achieve growth and development. Now, this is one of your arguments that you perhaps need to have strategies that diversify. And something that comes to mind is the Lewis model, things like that. In terms of if you don't diversify, and then you give the argument of Prebisch Singer. It's a very, very powerful argument. It really literally tries to explain and it opposes David Ricardo that talks about comparative advantage. Prebisch Singer opposes it. So it's a very powerful argument, especially in terms of evaluation. So hopefully, guys, you will understand this and you'll be able to use it in your essays. Please like and subscribe, and I shall do another quick video very soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.